The Valdorian delegation stood in perfect formation on the docking bay of the trade station, their fur bristling with ceremonial pride. 7 adults, tall and imposing, their silver pelts gleaming under the harsh station lights. Between them, barely reaching their knees, stood a small figure, a cub with mottled brown fur that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Captain Rhea Voss watched the scene unfold from across the bay, her coffee growing cold in her hand. She'd seen a lot in her 15 years hauling cargo across the outer reaches, but this particular tableau made something twist uncomfortably in her chest. The lead Valdorian, a female with intricate braids woven through her silver mane, stepped forward. "Captain Voss, we thank you for allowing us passage to the station. We wish to conclude our business here." Rhea nodded slowly, her eyes drifting to the cub. Up close, she could see at him more clearly. His eyes were too large, almost luminous in the dim light, and his ears sat at slightly odd angles, but what caught her attention was the way he held himself. Rigid, silent, trying desperately to be invisible. "What about the kid?" Rhea asked. The Valdorian female's expression didn't change, but her tail gave a sharp flick of dismissal. "Kerr is no longer pack. He has been evaluated and found insufficient. We leave him to station authorities. Insufficient." Rhea repeated the word like it tasted bitter. "He's what, 5? 6 years old? 7 rotations," another Valdorian supplied helpfully. "Old enough for the deficiencies to be clear. His coloring is wrong. His reflexes are slow. He cannot howl properly. He brings shame to the pack lineage." Rhea looked at Kerr again. The cub hadn't moved, hadn't made a sound. But she saw the way his small hands clenched at his sides, the slight tremor in his shoulders. 7 years old, and he'd already learned not to cry when his entire world abandoned him. "Station authorities will euthanize him humanely," the lead Valdorian continued, as if discussing the disposal of faulty equipment. "It is the kindest option. A defective cub cannot survive alone." Something in Rhea's jaw tightened. She set down her coffee cup with deliberate care. "No." The Valdorians blinked in unison, their ears swiveling toward her. "Pardon?" "I said no." Rhea stepped forward, positioning herself between the delegation and the cub. "You want to dump him here? Fine. Your loss. But he's not going to station authorities, and nobody's putting him down like a broken machine." The lead Valdorian's lips pulled back, revealing sharp teeth. "Captain, you do not understand our ways. This is a pack matter, and now it's a human matter." Rhea's voice was flat, brooking no argument. "Kid, what's your name?" For the first time, Kerr moved. His head tilted up, those large eyes meeting hers with a mixture of confusion and desperate hope. "K. Kier," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "Kerr. You want to stay with these people who think you're defective, or you want to come work on my ship?" The cub's eyes went impossibly wider. "Your ship? The Wandering Star. She's not fancy, but she's got good bones, and a crew that actually gives a damn about each other." Rhea glanced back at the Valdorians. "What do you say?" "Kier?" The answer came not in words, but in movement. Kerr darted forward, positioning himself behind Rhea's legs, his small hands gripping the fabric of her flight suit. The lead Valdorian's fur bristled. "This is highly irregular. The cub is pack property." "You just declared him no longer pack," Rhea interrupted. "Can't have it both ways. Either he's yours and you're responsible for him, or he's not and you've got no say in where he goes." She pulled out her datapad. "I'm logging this officially. As of now, Kier is under my protection as captain of an independent vessel. Any objections can be filed with Galactic Trade Authority, but I'm guessing you don't want the paperwork trail showing you abandoned a kid at a station." The silence stretched for a long moment. Then the lead Valdorian's ears flattened against her skull. "You will regret this, human. The cub will fail you as he failed us. We'll see." Rhea's smile was sharp. "Anything else?" or are we done here? The Valdorians departed without another word, their formation perfect, their backs straight with offended dignity. Rhea waited until they disappeared into the station corridors, before she turned to look down at Kier. The cub was still gripping her flight suit, his whole body shaking now that the adrenaline was fading. Up close, Rhea could see the tear tracks in his fur. She knelt down, bringing herself to his eye level. "Hey. Look at me." Kier's luminous eyes met hers, brimming with uncertainty. "You know what I see when I look at you?" Rhea asked gently. "I see a kid who stood there and took it while people who should have protected you treated you like garbage. That takes guts, Kier. Real strength isn't about how loud you can howl or how shiny your fur is. It's about keeping going when everything sucks." "But I am defective," Kier whispered. They said you're different. And you know what? On a human ship, different is usually an advantage." Rhea stood up, offering her hand. "Come on, let me introduce you to the rest of the crew. Fair warning. My engineer is a Thaxian who thinks practical jokes are a love language, and my navigator is a synthetic who plays terrible Earth music from the 21st century. We're all weird in our own ways." Kier stared at her hand for a long moment. Then, slowly, he placed his small paw in her palm. Will I have duties?" he asked as they walked toward the docking tube. "I can work. I can be useful. I promise." Rhea felt that twist in her chest again. 7 years old, and already desperate to prove his worth. First duty: eat 3 meals a day. Second duty: get at least 8 hours of sleep. Third duty: be a kid for a while. She squeezed his paw gently. "The work part comes later, when you're ready. For now, you're crew. And on the Wandering Star, crew means family. We don't abandon family." As they crossed into the ship, Kier looked back one last time at the docking bay where his pack had left him. Then he turned forward, his grip on Rhea's hand tightening with something that might have been determination. Behind them, the airlock sealed with a hiss. Ahead, the Wandering Star hummed with life imperfect, chaotic, but genuine. Rhea smiled. Their loss indeed.